I had my first trip on the Cape Leveque road. It's taken a while for me to get round to it, but I did and had a wonderful time. Had a look around One Arm Point and Djarindjin, Lombardina, Beagle Bay and the surrounding countryside. Lovely, lovely part of the world. Met some very friendly and very talkative people, and we'll be hearing from them on the breakfast show in the days ahead. There is, of course, that stretch of the road to Cape Leveque, around about 90 k's or so, which is on the dirt, and it's certainly at times fairly challenging dirt, the corrugations and the build-up of sand this far into the dry. You've got to keep your eyes open and think as you drive, feel it coming up through the wheel and react accordingly. So having made the journey along that stretch of road, and it's one of the more challenging bush roads I've done in recent times, I did, when I got up there, ask people for thoughts about, you know, with the federal government talking about Northern Australia and chucking some money at roads, I wondered what the feeling was about getting that stretch surfaced. You know, if we could get the money from the feds, would it be a good thing, bad thing? Interesting diversity of views around that. Let me introduce you to the first bloke I had a yarn to. On my trip, we pulled in at the Djarindjin Airstrip and met Kimberley Baird.
I'm the team leader for the Djarindjin airport. It's like living in God's own country, basically. This is my grandmother's country. It's Baird country or Baird country. This is the country of the Bunyal people, where we are at the moment, where the airport's situated. Yeah, this is good country.
And can you tell me what an average day is like for you working here?
What we do here is we service the superhumans that go offshore. An average day would be maybe 4 choppers a day. That's refueling, hot refueling the helicopters, but we do a lot more than just the helicopters. We maintain the airport, we maintain the buildings, we quality check the fuels, we keep an eye on the fuels, we keep an eye on we run a fire service from here as well.
It's a pretty impressive airport, you know, like this is the sort of thing you might expect to see in a bigger population centre or a big town. It's quite a good airport.
It's a growing airport, and it's a good project to be involved with. When I first come up here, it was quite small, but it's starting to grow a bit more now, and the work activity is starting to increase, and I'm proud to be a part of this project.
How many staff have you got?
We're up to 12 staff at the moment.
And they all local?
All local indigenous Baird people.
Of course, coming here by air, that's the quick way to get here. If you drive, you come up the Cape Leveque road, and that unsealed stretch of it can be a bit challenging. Do you think that might change one day? If they ever sealed it, what might happen?
Having been working at the airport, part of my job is to make sure we have an abundance of fuel here, even through the wet season. Work-wise, I would like that road sealed. Personally, I would not like to have that road sealed. And the reasons being is that we still live off the land up here, and I would like to minimize the amount of people that do come up here. You put a bitumen road in there, a lot more people will be coming up that road. That's the short end of the thing.
Well, so would that change the communities or the way the people live here? What would be the problem if more people came?
It can have a devastating effect on the landscape if people are not controlled in where they can and can't go, because this is still cultural land up here as well, and people need to realise that they just can't wander off in any direction up here. If the communities up here were to take control of that, then that might be okay. You
mentioned before the idea of there's two economies at work here. There's the money economy and what you might more broadly call a bush or a traditional economy. Could you explain what you mean by that?
Well, we've lived off the land since day one, from before Captain Cook ever landed in this country, and we still live off the land today. Not only here in the peninsula, but right across the whole Kimberley region. The money system is killing our people simply because the diets that the alcohol that we consume, the fatty foods that we consume, drugs and cigarettes, and that's one economy. And the other economy is that we live off the land. We hunt, gather, and collect our food, which is free, and it's in abundance up here. If you get a lot of people up here, that threaten that side of it. You know?
So at the moment, I'm guessing that people sort of living a bit in both camps. Some in the money economy, and some of the time going back to the bush economy. Is that how that works?
Exactly. That's what goes on now. And in the days when I grew up, and I saw a lot of people come out of the communities into the towns, when they've got money, they spend it on alcohol, drugs, unhealthy foods. And when they haven't got any money, they move back onto the communities and they hunt and gather, and their lifestyle gets better. And they go backwards and forwards. It depends on the day, and if they've got money on that day, they live in either economy.
So would it be possible that somebody could just let go of that money economy and move back to the bush economy? Is it possible?
It is possible, and to a certain extent, I am living that myself in the way I spend my money. I used to drink, smoke, and eat pies and chicken treat. I don't eat that anymore, or very little of it, I should say. And I would rather go down to the beach, catch my fish, cook it for that evening, and have fresh fish for tea.
And what do you catch?
Sorry, we catch all sorts of fish in the sea up here.
It's good fishing.
It's good fishing, and what we do here is we target the fish that's in season. That's when it's really fatty and it melts in your mouth.
What's the best thing about living here and this being your country? What makes it really special for you?
Well, one, it's my grandmother's country. Two, it's there's still an abundance of fish and wildlife that we could hunt and gather and eat and be healthy, and still practice our traditional and our traditions and our culture. Even going out and spearing a fish rather than catching it with a rod or a net. You know? Going for a walk with a spear, catching a fish with a spear, cooking it up, eating it. You get healthy foods, you get exercise. And I think that's the way to go. And if we can get more of our people going back to country and living that lifestyle, I think we'll be on the right track.
Kimberley, thank you. It's really nice to meet you. Thank you very much.
Not a problem. Thank you very much, Richard.
Kimberley Baird's the team leader at the Djarindjin airport, having a yarn there on Friday afternoons. Interesting, everyone I spoke to all around the peninsula, everyone sooner or later, usually within the first couple of minutes of the conversation, mentioned how good the fishing is. And certainly some good fish to be had up there. Everyone seemed to have a story about going out to get one or just come back with, hey, have a look at this. 19 past 7, ABC Kimberley Breakfast.